Welcome to the kitchen in Dundurn Castle. My name is Fiona, and today for Christmas we are going to be making a plum pudding. Our pudding recipe today comes from this recipe book. It is 75 receipts for pastries, cakes, and sweetmeats, written by Eliza Leslie in 1828. So a nice old historic recipe. And I have all the ingredients on the table here today. We are going to be using 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of butter, 2 cups of sugar, 4 cups of breadcrumbs, a cup of well-floured raisins, a tablespoon each of cinnamon, nutmeg, and mace, just a teaspoon of salt, 8 eggs, and 2 cups of milk. And then for a little extra treat, we're going to be adding just a 1/4 cup of molasses, just to give it a little bit of extra sugar and color and taste. You can add some alcohol if you wish. You can put in a cup of brandy or sherry, or if you don't want any of that, you can use a cup of apple cider instead. So this makes a big recipe, so don't be scared to maybe reduce it, only use half of each ingredient, or maybe make a couple smaller ones, because it really does make a huge, big boiled plum pudding.
Thank you, Fiona. For this next part, we're actually going to be taking a cotton pudding cloth and soaking it in hot water. After that, we'll be removing the cloth from the water and wringing it out. Once it is cool enough to touch and work with, we're going to lay it flat and we're going to flour this cloth. It's a very important step so that water doesn't get into the pudding. Okay, so the cloth has been boiling. You'll probably want to boil the cloth for a few minutes. This way the fibers in the cloth loosen and you're better able to work the flour in. So we're going to take it out now, very carefully, of course, it's very hot. And just have it sitting in your bowl. You'll need to let it cool for a few minutes before you can work with it. So I'm just wringing out the cloth now. Want to get most of the water out of it, but it should still be a little damp to the touch. And now I can lay it flat on the table. All right, so from here we're going to flour our cloth. You'll want to use quite a bit of flour for this. So I'm going to start with close to a cup. And you'll want to concentrate the flour sort of near the center. It doesn't need to go all the way out to the edge because eventually we'll be picking up the corners and tying it. So we'll start by just sprinkling some flour over the center. And then you can just use your hands to work that flour in. It will sort of gum up on your hands. It turns into a bit of a paste. And you'll really want to rub it in to make sure it gets between the fibers. This is going to create a seal for your pudding so that, like I said, water does not get inside. We really don't want that. All right, and once you've finished this step, you can put the cloth into a bowl and then you'll be able to scoop your pudding mixture into it. And if there's a bit of flour that's loose, that's okay too. Once you've got your cloth floured and in the bowl, you're going to spoon your pudding mixture into it. Then you'll need to pick up the corners, twist it very tightly, and it helps if you have another person to help you with this. You'll need to use some string to tie it. Again, very tightly. We don't want any water getting inside. Once you've tied your pudding, it's time to submerge it in boiling water. What we've done here actually is secure a wooden spoon to one end of the string. We're going to lay it across the top of the pot. This way the pudding will be suspended in the water and not touching the bottom. Another way you can achieve this is to invert a plate or a saucer and place it at the bottom of the pot. This pudding has been boiling for about 3 hours. Different recipes might call for you to boil your pudding for as long as 6 hours, so be sure to check that. Again, work carefully and slowly remove the pudding from the pot. Take it over to your work surface, and now we can unfurl it. Now for the last part, you'll want to dim the lights, trust me.
So if you want an extra bit of drama, you can add some alcohol to your finished boiled plum pudding. You're going to want to take a little bit of maybe rum or brandy, put it in a ladle, warm the ladle over an open flame like a candle, gently light the ladle on fire, and pour it over top of your plum pudding. For more fun, delicious recipes, check us out on our Instagram, Dundurn_castle, and our Facebook, Dundurn National Historic Site, where we challenge you with our monthly recipe challenge to make a historic recipe just like this one. You try and figure it out and make it yourselves at home and tell us all about it. From all of the cooks down here in the kitchen, we wish you and your family a very happy holiday.